Hello, friends and family. I am here. Yesterday I was out to breakfast with a friend, and I kind of was reminded of the fact that I haven't done a live in a little while. So I just wanted to get on for a couple minutes. I had an experience yesterday with my sister. If you know her, she's pretty awesome. We were driving. I had to take a family member to a procedure. So we went to, I did that, and then I spent some time at my parents' house afterwards, and I did some work, and then my niece had to get taken to Temple University, and I had to be home by 6:30 to do a podcast. And my sister and I were driving my niece to Temple, and I live like clear across the city from Temple, so you have to drive it's probably like a 20-minute drive to get across the city. And I was freaking out because I didn't want to be late. I can't be late for this podcast that I do because I'm the host, and you have to sign on at the right time. And like my anxiety was getting higher and higher and higher as we were going across town. And at one point, like, I was yelling at people. Like, I'm driving. I'm like, get that bleep out of my way. Like, I was just, like, freaking out on people. And she was like, what is wrong with you? She's like, you are so mean. She said to me, I'm more of a Christian than you are. And if you know my sister, like, that's crazy talk because she's not a Christian. And she knew, like, but the point that she was making was not that she's more of a Christian than I am, but that I was really angry and I was really being mean. And one of my core values in life in general is just being nice and being kind to people and understanding other people's perspective. I work in the dental field, and I've been doing it for probably 10, 11 years. I've been doing it for a long time. And the one thing that I always bring to the table when I'm working in the office is that I understand that people who come into my office are scared. Like, no one wants to go to the dentist. No one ever wakes up in the morning and goes, yes, I get to go to the dentist. I can't wait to get a root canal. I can't wait to get an implant. I can't wait to get a filling. No one ever, that's not what anyone is choosing to do. And so, like, one of the things that I always do is I always want to make sure that when I'm dealing with patients, that I think about how they feel. Meaning that I put myself in their perspective. Like, what is it like to be sitting in the waiting room for however long they have to sit? What is it like when someone's explaining something that freaks them out in terms that they don't understand? And so, and like recently I've become involved with a new company. I'm doing a podcast for them, as you probably know if you've seen my Facebook at all. And I always when I'm talking to the talent or I'm talking to people on the podcast, I always have that thought process. Like, how do these guys feel? Like, I want to make sure that everyone on the podcast is really comfortable. And I understand that there's a lot that they don't understand. Like, just like when people come into the dental office, I understand that there's a lot that people don't understand. Like, if I tell you, okay, you need to get an implant, you have no, like, if you are not in the dental field and you haven't had an implant done, that means nothing to you. And today I actually had an experience where the doctor said, yeah, we're going to screw this into your jaw. And I was like, no, we don't talk to people like that. We talk to people in terms that they can understand. So yesterday, as I was driving across the city, I was a really mean, angry person. And then my sister, like I said, my sister called me on it. She was like, you're like, why are you being so mean? I'm like, you don't understand the pressure I'm under. And she said to me, I'm under a lot of pressure too, but I'm not mean. I'm not being mean to anyone. I was like, and it really hit me. Like, I was really mad when she actually said that when I was driving, because like, she knew, like, I communicated to her in a way I thought was understandable that I had to be home at a certain time. And obviously she didn't hear me, I didn't communicate it properly. I'll take total responsibility that I didn't communicate it properly. But then today I was at work and like I was like talking to people and things like that, and I really heard the way I was speaking, and it really occurred to me that I'm really very jaded about the dental industry. And the reason that I'm coming on and saying this is like there are a lot of people, like when you do something on a daily basis, you take things for granted. You take, whether you're a coach, like I know I have a lot of like Beachbody coaches who are on my page. Maybe one or two of you will see this. I know I have some like people that are life coaches. I know that there are people in the entertainment industry that'll see this. And the thing is like you take for granted what you know. And like I take for granted what I know. Like I take for granted like now with whatever I do in the dental, whenever I'm doing anything like in the business world, I take for granted that people actually have an acumen for business, because it's something, it just comes naturally to me. Like if you don't know my background, like I worked in a bank. I worked for a bank for like 5.5, 6 years, and like I was in a very saturated market, and I helped to build a branch from $0. Like literally I was there on day one to $2 million in a year. And that's like really hard when you have big banks surrounding you. And like in the office I'm in now, like I can't take full responsibility for it. But when I started working there, we were booked 3 months out. And now we're booked 6 months out for hygiene. It's pretty cool. I mean, it's just something, it just comes naturally to me. So a lot of times, like when I'm talking to people who are in the business industry, like there are just things that come naturally to me because it's something I've studied and something I've learned that it doesn't always come naturally to other people, and I become very jaded, and I get really mad at people when they don't understand. And I hear that a lot with people who are in the dental field, and even what I'm doing now, like I hear people like, oh my God, how could you not know that you need to do the XYZ? Well, you know what the thing is like people don't know what they don't know until you tell them. Like there are a lot of things I don't know. Like I'm sure like the way my camera is like shaking, like if there was someone who does this on a regular basis, they'd be like, you need to get a tripod and you need to do XYZ. But for me right now, it's not something I know. So I just want to like really, if you're listening to this, I really want you to like really take heed, like take a minute and really listen and think about things. Like you can't be mad at people for what they don't know. Like I can't be mad at people who come into my office who don't know that you need to brush your teeth twice a day and you need to floss. And that I can't be mad at people who have never been told that using an electric toothbrush is more effective than using a regular toothbrush. Or you're not supposed to scrub like this. You're supposed to like go in circle. Like I can't be mad at people for what they don't know. And if you're in an industry that you've been in for a long time, your job is to educate people. You can't be mad at people for what they don't know. And so like I just really want like to take a minute and like really like have everyone who watches this take a step back and really think about what you're talking to people, what you're telling people, and the way that you're talking to people. If you're talking to people in a way, like if your job is to educate people in any way, and you are being mean to them, they're not going to fucking listen to you. And yes, I just fucking cursed and I don't care. Like, I'm tired of it. Like, I'm tired of people doing that. People do that to me. Like, oh, well, you blah, blah, blah. Like, I didn't know. So why are you being so mean to me? Like, I'm sorry I didn't know. Now I do. Now I can do better. So make sure that when you're, like, educating people, no matter what you're doing, that you're treating them like human beings. Like, if someone doesn't know that they need to brush their teeth twice a day, maybe they weren't taught. Maybe they're not smart enough to Google, oh, how do I brush my teeth? If you are, maybe people don't know, okay, you know what, I can't just go to any person and get pictures taken because they're not going to be good pictures. Like, people literally don't know what they don't know until you tell them. So what I'm trying to say is just have grace with people. Like, just be nice to people. And in general, like if you're someone who's if you're in a role where you're educating people, be kind, because you know what? People don't care what you tell them. Like if you're going to be mean to them, they don't care what you're saying. You're going to lose customers, you're going to lose patients, you're going to lose friends if you're just rude all the time. So just be nice. So if you're watching this and you are all aggressive or all jaded with what you're doing, just take a step back and really think about the person on the other side They're a human being. It's really easy for people to hate on other people because like they don't see us as human beings. But like if I cut myself, I'm going to bleed red, and if you cut yourself, you're going to bleed red too. So instead of like being so condescending and so mean to people because you know something and it's a part of your DNA, like take a step back and think, you know what, maybe this person really doesn't know. And also, like, something I do a lot, and I don't do this I do this really poorly if I'm dealing with insurance companies. So if you work for an insurance company, I apologize. But the way that I try to run my life is I treat people the way I would want them to treat my Oma or my grandma. Like, sometimes I deserve to be yelled at and screamed at, but, like, don't ever come at my grandmother like that, because I will come at you back twice as hard. So just really, like, the whole point of this whole live tonight is I just really want you to, like, really think about the way that you talk to people and the way that you treat people. And if you've been doing something for 10, 15, 20 years, yeah, of course, you're going to have a lot more knowledge than someone who has never done it. But just have grace with people, and remember, every person you talk to is someone's son, someone's daughter, someone's aunt, someone's grandma, someone's mom, someone's dad. We're all human. So if you are in a position where you are feeling extra jaded and you just feel entitled to be rude to people, take a step back and stop. Okay? So, yeah, that's my message for tonight, because it's something I learned yesterday when I was, like, driving across the city ready to run over every person that I came in contact with. Take a step back and remember, we're all human, okay? So, don't be jaded. Remember, everyone's human. Thanks for listening. And if you have any questions, send me a message. Thanks. Talk to you later. Bye.